Hi, welcome to Raw Math. Today I'm doing a series of videos of solving polynomials. In this one, I am specifically solving by completing the square. Before I solve by completing the square, I kind of want to give a little bit of information about where this is coming from. If I have a plus b squared, this equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So if I look at this question, the d is representing the a, which means 2db, that means the 6 has to be the 2 and the b, which means the 6 is twice b. So if I take that 6 and I divide it in half, then I know that b is equal to 3. Okay, so I know that I have d plus 3 squared. These aren't really equal because to make them equal, I would actually have to square this to get 9 and say plus 9. So this is my perfect square trinomial, and this is what it equals as binomial squared. Okay, so what did I do? I took the number multiplied to the middle term, divided it in half. That's what I put in the parentheses, k minus 1/2 squared. Then I took that value and squared it, which gives me a positive 1/4, and that's what I add right here. Now, if my number is already a fraction, instead of dividing it in half, I'm just going to multiply it by 1/2 because dividing a fraction often leads to a wrong solution. So I have negative 3/16 here. So my parentheses are c minus 3/16 squared. And when I square this, I get 9/256. So I put that here. All right, and for my last one, I have my negative 20. I divide it in half to get negative 10. That's what's going into the parentheses. Then I square this to get 100, and that's what I put here. All right, so this is the theory behind completing the square. We take two terms and we find the third term, which gives us a perfect square trinomial. So let's see how it looks when we're actually solving with completing the square. So for this first example, I have this 12. That's my middle number. And I'm not going to be going across like I did before. I'm going to go straight down. 12 divided in half is 6, which means I want to turn the left-hand side of my equation into w plus 6 squared. To do that, though, I need to get my third term so that w squared plus 12w plus something equals this. I need to square this to be 36. To keep a balanced equation, I need to add that 36 to both sides. I need to add it to both sides so that I end up with a balanced equation. So this becomes 91. Okay, then when I square root both sides, I need to include a plus or minus to indicate I understand that square root could come from a positive or negative, so that I have w plus 6 equals plus or minus the square root of 91. I'm going to leave my answer precise. I'm not going to go to decimal, which could often involve a rounding error. You need to find out the directions on your problem because sometimes they say leave as exact values and sometimes they say leave as rounded to so many decimal places. All right, I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. Now the 6 and the 91 are not the same type of number, so they cannot combine. So I'm left with w equals negative 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 1. 91. Okay, so let's do this again and see what happens when we don't end up with a square root. Again, we're going to start with the middle value and divide it in half to get negative 5. That number is going down. V minus 5 squared. I'm going to square my negative 5 to get 25 and add it to both sides of the equation so that I have this equaling what I'm turning it into. I add it to both sides to keep my equation balanced. This equals 9. When I square root this one with a plus or minus, I end up with v minus 5 equals negative 3, or v minus 5 equals a positive 3. I then can add 5 to both sides, a lot, and v is going to equal 2 or 8. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this video. please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks!